Hey guys, welcome to What If Azula Died in Avatar: The Last Airbender Part 2. What if the Book 3 episode titled The Southern Raiders created an event that would shape the rest of the season, changing not only how Team Avatar sees Zuko, but more importantly, how Zuko sees himself. Also, please do not forget to give this video a like and hit the notification bell to be updated about brand new videos. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. The days after Ember Island pass quickly. Soon, Sozin's comet arrives, the day that will decide the fate of the world. But things immediately go wrong. Aang struggles with the idea of killing Fire Lord Ozai. His friends can see it. Then, without warning, he disappears. The group searches for him, but finds nothing. As the comet approaches, time runs out. Zuko, Katara, Sokka, Toph, and Suki continue searching. They meet June, who leads them to Iroh. They also discover the Order of the White Lotus. For the first time in months, Zuko sees his uncle again. He gives a heartfelt, tear-filled apology for betraying him back in Ba Sing Se. Iroh embraces him without hesitation. The next morning, they discuss their plan. Iroh tells Zuko that the Fire Nation needs a new leader. A leader who can rebuild what has been broken. It has to be Zuko. But there is one problem. Iroh tells Zuko that Azula will fight for the throne. At the mention of her name, the group falls silent. Iroh notices immediately. He asks what happened. He asks where Azula is. No one answers. Finally, Zuko speaks. He tells Iroh that Azula is dead. He explains what happened at the Western Air Temple. The attack, the blast, her fall, the cliff giving way beneath her, her disappearance into the canyon below. He admits he could not save her, that he still sees it every time he closes his eyes, that the guilt nearly destroyed him, and what he nearly did on that cliff. When Zuko finishes, Iroh says nothing for a moment. Azula was still his niece, a child shaped by Ozai's cruelty. Then he walks over and embraces Zuko. Zuko finally breaks down. Iroh holds him and lets him grieve. Then he tells him what he needs to hear. Azula's death was not his fault. There was nothing he could have done. He tells Zuko that he cannot destroy himself over what happened. Soon, the day arrives. Sozin's comet appears. The fate of the world will be decided. Aang awakens on the lion turtle, who shows him the way of energy bending. He can stop Ozai without abandoning his beliefs. He leaves to face the Fire Lord. Ozai begins his attack. Empowered by the comet, he leads the air fleet toward the Earth Kingdom. His goal is to burn it to ash. But Team Avatar is already in motion. Sokka, Toph, and Suki sabotage the airships. They destroy engines and turn the fleet against itself. Together, they bring the fleet down. Ozai's plan begins to fail. Without Azula in the capital, Zuko and Katara join the White Lotus at Ba Sing Se to reclaim the city. The battle is fierce. Comet-enhanced firebenders fight with overwhelming power. But the White Lotus pushes back. Bumi tears through the city walls. Pakku, Zhong, and Pian Dao lead the attack. Iroh breaks through the outer wall and burns the Fire Nation flag, symbolizing the Fire Nation no longer controls Ba Sing Se. Zuko fights beside his uncle. For the first time, he fights for peace. Katara fights at his side. Together, they protect civilians and drive out Fire Nation forces. By the end of the battle, Ba Sing Se is free. High above the Earth Kingdom, Aang and Ozai clash. At first, Ozai overwhelms him, but Aang refuses to give in. The Avatar state returns. The battle now turns in Aang's favor. For the first time, Ozai is afraid. Still, Aang refuses to kill him. Instead, he uses energy bending and takes Ozai's fire bending away forever. Defeated, the Fire Lord falls to his knees. Across the world, the fighting ends. The air fleet is destroyed. Ba Sing Se is liberated, and Ozai is defeated and imprisoned for life. This marks the end of the 100-Year War. When the news reaches the White Lotus camp, relief spreads. Some laugh, some cry, others sit in silence. Zuko looks to the sky. He thinks about his banishment, his mistakes, his uncle, his friends, and finally Azula. Her loss still hurts, and unfortunately, it always will. But for the first time since her death, he feels hope. There is still healing to do, but the war is over. A new era begins, an era of love and peace. The days after the war are some of the busiest in Zuko's life. Soon after, Zuko is crowned Fire Lord. Leaders, soldiers, civilians, and his friends gather to witness the former exile take the throne. Yet his thoughts often return to Katara. After Azula's death, she never left his side. She helped him through his grief, reminded him he was not to blame, and refused to let him face his pain alone. He never forgets that. As the days pass, he finds himself searching for her in crowds and meetings. Sometimes he catches her looking at him too, but their bond continues to grow. They spend time together after meetings, walk through the palace gardens, and sit together in comfortable silence. Katara notices that Zuko smiles more when she is around. His nightmares come less often, and when they do, he no longer faces them alone. He trusts her, and she realizes she depends on him too, not just as an ally, but as someone she deeply cares about. The anger she once felt toward him is gone. In its place are understanding, respect, and something more, affection. One evening, they stand on a balcony overlooking the city as people celebrate peace below. Zuko admits there were days after Azula's death when he did not think he would survive. He tells Katara that without her, he does not know what would have happened. Katara tells him he is stronger than he believes. Zuko still doubts that, but nods anyway. But he knows he did not get through it alone. Somewhere along the way, they became two of the most important people in each other's lives, eventually becoming an actual couple. As the world begins to heal, something new grows between them. Something built on trust, understanding, and shared pain. Neither wants to let it go. Nearly 2 years pass after the war. The world begins to heal. The Fire Nation rebuilds. But Zuko still had unfinished business, that being finding his mother. Which brings us to the events of the Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novel titled The Search, which was all about Zuko gaining closure and finding his mother after her disappearance. Zuko searches for his mother. The journey leads him to a woman named Noriko. She is Ursa, his mother, who lives with her husband Ikem and their daughter Ki. After years of searching, he finally finds her. When her memories return, they reunite. Over the following days, they spend time together. They talk about everything that happened while they were apart. Things like his banishment, the war, and becoming Fire Lord. He even introduces her to Katara. Eventually, Ursa asks about Ozai. Zuko tells her he is imprisoned and powerless. She nods quietly. There is sadness in her expression, but no surprise. Then she asks about Azula. Katara looks away. Zuko's expression changes, and Ursa notices. Ursa immediately knows something is wrong. She asks him to tell her what happened, and to give the truth. For a moment, Zuko cannot speak. Then he tells her what happened at the Western Air Temple. The attack, the blast, Azula falling from the airship, the cliffside, the clouds below, and how she was never seen again. As he speaks, his voice weakens. The memories still haunt him. He still has PTSD. Every detail remains clear. By the time he finishes, he's crying. He admits he still wonders if he could have saved her, if he had acted faster, if he had done more. Maybe she would still be alive. Ursa reaches forward and holds his face. She tells him to stop immediately. Ursa tells him Azula's death was not his fault. There was nothing he could have done. She tells him who is responsible, that being Ozai. The man who filled Azula with fear and anger, turned brother against sister, taught her that love was weakness. And the man who broke their family long before that day. Ursa begins to cry. She wishes she could have saved Azula, but she cannot change what happened. She pulls Zuko into a hug and tells him he does not have to carry this guilt forever. She tells him she is proud of him, proud of the man he became. For the first time in years, some of the weight lifts from Zuko's shoulders. Not all of it, but enough that he can finally breathe. Enough to believe the pain might lessen someday. As Katara watches nearby, she sees something she has not seen in him since Azula's death. Peace that's slowly building inside of him. As soon as Zuko, Katara, Ursa, Ki, and Ikem return to the Fire Nation, life becomes busy again. Meetings, reconstruction, diplomacy. But Zuko cannot stop thinking about Azula. Ursa notices. Katara notices. Iroh notices. Talking with Ursa eases some of his guilt, but it does not bring closure. Something still feels unfinished. A few weeks later, Zuko commissions a portrait of Azula, one of the largest in the palace. When asked why, he gives a simple answer. She is still family. She deserves to be remembered. Months later, the portrait is completed. Whenever Zuko passes it, he stops. Sometimes for a moment, sometimes longer. Katara notices. She sees how he looks at the portrait, How he grows quiet whenever Azula is mentioned. Eventually, she understands why. He never got to say goodbye. One evening, Katara suggests returning to the Western Air Temple, finding Azula, bringing her home, giving her the burial she never had. After a long silence, Zuko admits he wants that too. Aang, Sokka, Toph, and Suki join them. No one wants Zuko to face this alone. Days later, they reach the Western Air Temple. The memories return. The attack, the chase, the fall. Together, they search the canyon below. Then they find her. No one speaks. Zuko stares in silence. There she is, his sister, still where she fell. Her armor remains. So does the wound that killed her. Seeing her makes everything feel immediate again. Zuko falls to his knees. The tears come at once. He rushes to her side. All he sees is his little sister, the sister he could not save. He pulls her gently into his arms. Years of grief finally break free. Katara kneels beside him. No one says a word. Only Zuko's sobs echo through the canyon. The only words he can get out are, "My baby sister." They bring Azula home, not as a princess or a weapon, but as a daughter and a sister. Family. Word spreads across the Fire Nation. People gather from every corner of the nation. Some come because she was royalty. Others come to support their Fire Lord. The funeral is held at the palace. Flowers line the path. Fire sages stand in silence. Azula's portrait overlooks the ceremony. Team Avatar attends. Iroh stands beside Ursa. Ikem and Ki stand with them. Even Mai and Ty Lee both attend. Ty Lee cries loudly, and Mai's usually unreadable expression is replaced by weeping. When it is time to speak, Zuko steps forward. He looks at the crowd, then at Azula's memorial. Finally, he speaks. "My sister spent most of her life being remembered for her worst moments. But she was more than her mistakes. She was intelligent. She was strong. And despite everything, she was family." The crowd listens in absolute silence. When the ceremony ends, Azula is laid to rest within the palace grounds, near her family and near her home. For the first time since the day she fell, Zuko gets to say goodbye. And this time, he is not alone. A few days after the funeral, Zuko makes a decision. Ozai deserves to know what happened to Azula. Under heavy guard, Zuko travels to the prison with his Kyoshi warrior security guards. Before he enters the cell, Katara reminds him that he owes Ozai nothing. Zuko says he knows. Then he walks inside. Ozai looks up as the door opens. He seems surprised to see Zuko. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Then Zuko tells him Azula has been found. He tells him about returning to the Western Air Temple, finding her, bringing her home, the funeral, the people who came to honor her, and where she is buried, within the palace grounds, near her family. As Zuko speaks, Ozai's expression changes. For the first time in years, he looks less like a Fire Lord and more like a grieving father. Zuko tells him that he believes Azula was more than her mistakes. But she was family. Silence fills the cell. Ozai lowers his head. There is no anger, only grief. Then Zuko tells Ozai that he forgives him, not because the past can be undone, but because he no longer wants to carry hatred. Forgiveness is not for Ozai. It is for himself. Ozai looks at him. For the first time, he sees the man Zuko has become. Strong, compassionate, a better leader than he ever was. Zuko turns to leave. Before he reaches the door, Ozai speaks. His voice is quiet. He thanks Zuko for bringing Azula home. Zuko pauses. Then he nods and walks away. As he leaves the prison, the weight on his shoulders feels a little lighter. Not gone, but lighter. For now, that is enough. Days pass after Azula's funeral. For the first time in years, there is peace. Team Avatar stays at the Fire Nation Palace to support Zuko. One evening, they gather in the palace gardens. They sit quietly together. Eventually, Aang speaks. He tells Zuko that losing someone never stops hurting. He still misses Monk Gyatso every day. Sokka agrees. Losing his mother still hurts too. Toph says some losses become part of who a person is. Suki tells Zuko that grief is not weakness. Katara, his girlfriend, takes his hand. She tells him he does not have to carry his pain alone. The others agree. Aang says they are his family now. Sokka says he is stuck with them. Toph says there is no getting rid of them. Zuko feels himself getting emotional. After everything he has lost, their words mean more than he can say. Quietly, he asks how he is supposed to move on. No one answers right away. Then Toph grins. She suggests he and Katara start planning a wedding. Everyone turns to her. Sokka nearly chokes. Suki laughs. Aang smiles. Katara and Zuko both blush. Toph shrugs. Life keeps moving forward, she says. Moving on does not mean forgetting. It means making room for happiness alongside the pain. No one laughs at her. They understand. Zuko looks at Katara. She squeezes his hand. For the first time in a long while, he smiles. A real smile. Maybe moving on means carrying the people you lost with you while continuing to live. Looking around at his friends, Zuko realizes he will not face the future alone. And that's it for this What If theory. In this timeline, her death changes everything, reshaping Zuko's journey, deepening his bond with Katara, and altering the course of Sozin's comet. At its core, this story is about grief. Loss touches everyone differently. Some cry, some get angry, and some carry their pain for years. Grief never fully disappears, but it becomes easier when we let others help us carry it. Healing isn't about forgetting those we've lost. It's about learning to move forward while honoring their memory. And remember, you don't have to face it alone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the story, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, also comment below any other what if theories you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.